Hey y'all, here OS Reviews. A few weeks back we checked out a pretty cool mood light called the Govee Aura. It's on the left here, and it's interesting because it's able to display RGB colors, even create pretty interesting gradient effects as well as animations that slowly changes across the entire canvas that just makes it look a bit more dynamic versus the entire thing being red or yellow or white. Finally, we have another competitor to that. This one here is in the shape of a round disc, and similar to the aforementioned Aura, it's able to change multiple colors at the same time. It's also cheaper than the Aura. This one's selling for around 45 bucks versus the Aura lamp, which goes for a little north of $60. So it could be a more cost-effective option if you prefer the design that you're seeing here from another company. Now, it does also have built-in Wi-Fi, so it's a smart lamp, which means that you're also able to turn it on or off using any Google or Amazon assistants, and you can also use a companion app as well to further tweak things like the different lighting effects as well as the brightness levels, things like that. It has this dedicated sunrise effect which gets gradually brighter as you use it as an alarm. Packaging here is quite simple, reiterates that you can set it into a few different orientations. And then inside we've got the lamp itself along with a quick start guide as well as a wall adapter and also the power adapter cable. It is using a barrel plug. Would have preferred to see USB Type-C or micro USB, but still it works fine. Just like the Aura lamp, it is something that needs to be connected to power at all times. It doesn't have a built-in battery. So as aforementioned, it is a very clean shape. Even when turned off, it looks pretty interesting. The entire body here is wrapped in a coating of plastic without any seams or edges. And then even the stand here on the back is molded from the same piece of plastic, as you can see there, that is translucent and allows the light to pass through. Now we do have the AC power plug on the side there, along with a dial on the rear that you can actually twist on to change the brightness as well as make it dimmer just by rotating it clockwise and counterclockwise, which is a pretty interesting design. You can also press downward on it to turn it on and off, as well as tap once to go through a few different preset modes without using the voice assistant or companion app. And then just like the Aura, it doesn't have a built-in speaker, so it's going to be just an ambient light / mood light. There is a version that has a small display that has a clock alarm function that sells for around $10 more. So that is one alternative you can pick. Companion app here, which is called Smart Life. So it is a pretty generic app that connects to other smart devices as well. You can tap on the plus symbol. We'll go over to actually the auto scanning tab, turning on location services, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and then start to scan for any devices nearby. It's actually found our lamp here, which is the Prismatic is actually the name, and we can tap on next. Afterwards, we'll share our Wi-Fi password, and the light will then be connected to the internet. We're able to turn it on, for example. Here's a night light function that you can activate, and it creates this pretty warm glow that's a little bit more red on the top as well as slightly more yellowish and orange at the bottom. So this is in fact already an example of a RGBIC effect where it's not just one color at once, but there is some subtle differences and gradients being changed, which is looking quite attractive. We can also change the brightness level to either make it dimmer. So here's the minimum setting that it can be at, just super subtle, but still enough if you are in the complete darkness and want to use it to find your way around. This is the moderate setting, and here is the maximum brightness level. Now we're also able to change it to a specific color as this color wheel that you can use, either changing it to a white light as you can see there or going to specific shades, and a preview will also be displayed on the top there. You can see how the process here is quite fast. As long as you're connected to a fast enough Wi-Fi connection, everything works here without too many issues. Now I can also turn this off at any point and then go over to the Ambilight function, and these are the really cool gradient effects which are super dazzling and beautiful to look at. And we have the aforementioned 9 modes that you can go between. The transition is very dazzling to look at and actually quite relaxing in a way as well, very gradual and smooth in this first Aura mode. We can also go over to a sunlight mode, and here is the one that's trying to simulate again the red as well as the slightly more yellowish tint at the bottom of the sun, another gradient finish that looks quite beautiful, a little reminiscent in fact of those sunset projection lamps that were popular for a while on Amazon, creates that similar glow and color. We also have a night effect, which is more of a pinkish color, but it's slightly more white at the center as you can see there and a little darker at the parameters, creates that ring-like effect. And then here's one called Neon, which is also pretty beautiful to look at. It actually will spiral through the violet as well as the cyan and lighter green color in this circular pattern. It's worth noting though that in terms of the effects, you can't really change the speed of the transitions, but it already looks quite good, I have to say. Now here is the Grassland effect, which also is changing between greens and slightly more yellowish colors, almost like a rainforest. Beautiful. Now, by the way, here is what it looks like from the different edges. So the colors do look quite consistent no matter where you're looking at it from head on or from the sides, since the entire thing is made out of this translucent plastic material. Even on the complete back, for example, we can still see a little bit of the color in terms of the light there seeping through, so it's not just completely dark. Here's one called Rainbow, which is also going to be a little similar to the Aurora, but just having a few more shades of colors that it will produce. There's actually over 16 million shades that it can transition and show, so looks quite good. Here's one called Deep Sea, which is going to be turquoise at the very top and bottom, and then a more bluish color in the middle, as you can see there, which also looks quite dazzling and beautiful. And then finally, here's one called Bonfire, which is a little bit reminiscent of the sunlight function, except the red is a little bit more obvious towards the middle section, and it slowly actually is oscillating and breathing, getting dimmer and brighter. Although this model doesn't have a built-in speaker, you can also set up alarms to use it as a wake-up light. So for example, in the mornings, the light here can get gradually brighter and brighter to act as a stimulus. The app here also has a automation tab which allows you to turn on the light automatically under certain scenarios if you have other smart connected home products. For example, when the weather changes to a certain temperature, you can have it automatically turn on. You can also set up more complex schedules so that it will always turn on when you return home at a certain time during the day, when a certain activity changes, and all of that can be synchronized with the smart lamp, which is pretty neat. Again, connected via Wi-Fi. Finally, under your device profile settings, you can also connect to the aforementioned smart assistant products. If we wanted to take a closer look at the aforementioned controls built directly on the lamp, so we can tap on the dial here on the back once to again turn it on, and as aforementioned, I can rotate the dial here basically to make it brighter or make it dimmer just by rotating it counterclockwise and clockwise to again make it even brighter. And it remembers the last mode that it was on, so when you turn it on again, it will start where it left off, which is pretty neat. That's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of this really interesting RGB smart ambience light that is able to create these beautiful gradient effects that makes it look modern and dazzling. Another alternative to the aforementioned Govee Aura if you want something that can show more than just one color at a time and just adds a bit more of intrigue and mystery into the background of a room. You can check out more details if you're interested in the links down below. For now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.